Welcome back to Blockchain Pill. My name is Alex, and today on the podcast we have the founders of Elna, an AI marketplace built on the Internet Computer Protocol. We discussed about the limitations that LLMs have when they're being built on legacy infrastructure like Amazon Web Services and Google Cloud, and we'll talk about the benefits of building those LLMs on-chain as well as storing data sets and basically all the information on-chain and not off-chain. Guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm super excited to have the whole team here this time. Before we jump into the discussion, please introduce yourselves.
My name is Arun. With me,
Hi, I'm Amit.
Hi, I'm Hannah. We're part of the founding team.
So we have seen AI, make the rounds on the internet, and especially in crypto. So let's talk about what the innovation with AI has been all about. So what is the stage of AI right now, and have there been any big innovations since we last spoke?
since we last spoke, it was the starting of ChatGPT and different open source models like Llama, Mistral. Now, from the fantasy stage, now people started creating specific applications in multiple fields like medical, legal, let it be accounting. So now we are the second stage of large language models where we have a clear cut picture how this can be applied to multiple industries or how this can be applied to personal applications. Now it's the age of AI agents. So from initially we started as a chatbot in ICP. Now we have come up with a specific platform where people could make use of this large language models to create specific applications.
What kind of applications are people using Elna to build?
So basically, we call this agents. Agents are beyond chatbots. This constitute of three parts. One is obviously the large language model, which serves as the heart of the engine. And accompanying it, we have the knowledge base, which will be in the form of vector database. And along with that, we have connections, which we call it as tools. So this combination of large language models, knowledge, and the tools can be used to create specific applications. These are like an average human being. This could be like a digital twin to yourself. For example, I need to have a digital social media manager. I maybe you're a celebrity or you don't have the time to manage your Twitter profiles or social media accounts. So obviously you will be hiring a social media manager. Here, Elna agents could act as your personal social media manager. You give details about yourself. The knowledge base consists of your personal details, your likes, or what are your belief system. And this can be imported to Elna agents, and agent can be connected to your social media profiles. That includes Twitter, Instagram, or whatever more profiles you need to manage. And the agents will be able to manage it like an autonomous human being.
That is super cool. So, for example, could I have an agent of myself just to be there and to respond to people getting in touch with me?
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
you know what? I think a cool application of this would be if you were able to, for example, create an agent with that knows whatever you want and best represents you and connect it to dating websites, for example, and he just sets up the dates for you.
yeah, that's
I think
definitely.
that would be pretty cool. So is that in theory, is that possible?
Yeah, in theory it is possible.
That would be cool. So we see in the crypto space having AI LLMs built on chain. So first of all, what is the limitations that large language models have outside of Web3, like built on regular infrastructure, and what are the benefits of coming to Web3 and building them on chain?
So the major problem in the last podcast also we talked about the privacy and transparency issue, how the data is being used by ChatGPT or whatever models. So if you are using the open source models itself, you will be hosting it on AWS, Google Cloud, or any other centralized clouds, and we actually are not aware of how the data is being handled in each location. Even though they have multiple protocols, but we are not sure how it is being handled. That's a critical issue. And the complete ownership of your data, that's the second part. If you come to Web3, we are planning to have it in your own canisters. So users have the complete freedom of their data, how it is being used. It is completely transparent. It is visible on chain how it is being used, who are using this particular data, and they could delete it and they are sure that it is deleted. Nobody is using the data. There are no other backups or anything that we are not storing it somewhere else. So that's the critical part. And second is the usability. When it comes to the centralized infrastructures like AWS or ChatGPT or many other infrastructure doesn't leverage the freedom to customize it in a particular extent that how it is being used and how it is being customized. For example, we are creating an open developer ecosystem where multiple developers could monetize their tools. For example, somebody have created their own custom LLM or fine-tuned LLM to apply for medical or legal data. They could list these particular tools or LLMs in our platform, Elna platform, and the creator could choose from these multiple tools, and the developer has the right to directly monetize these particular tools. So whenever the creator is creating these particular tools from the particular developer, whenever it is being used, the developer directly get paid. So the royalty can be defined in the ecosystem. So we create an open ecosystem where that create a collaboration of developers, the creators, as well as the users. This gives complete transparency on how it is being used, and everyone is being rewarded equally.
I saw a video of Dominic Williams talk about something like this I think it's about a year ago, and I'm happy to see that it's finally starting to shape up, where he said that, in the future, with AI that is on chain, somebody can train an AI with a data set, and then he can rent this AI.
Yeah, there are some limitations, like number of instructions which can be executed, and there was limitations of memory. Now the Wasm stable memory has increased to 400 GB. Now there is no memory limitations, but there are some limitations like we are not having GPUs in the canisters, but definitely is in the positive direction, bringing GPUs as well as increasing the number of instructions which can be run on canisters. And there are currently no other chains which support at this point which could handle this kind of instruction, because machine learning programs as well as large language requires a lot of instruction to be executed at a single instant, and especially coming to fine tuning or training, you need to have GPUs. These are the two important things which ICP could revolutionize the overall paradigm of blockchain and AI. So here, if you have your private data, you need to, in order to train these particular LLMs, we call it fine tuning. So there are multiple methods like parameter efficient fine tunings are available, so that you need limited resources. So this, if this can be done inside the blockchain, actually your data stays secure as well as more private. Otherwise, you need to train it on other public infrastructure. You are not guaranteed to have your data. Maybe it's been stored somewhere else, it can be transferred to somebody else. So those kind of probabilities are being reduced by having it completely on chain.
So for the people who didn't watch our previous episode, I wanted to give us a brief description of exactly what Elna does.
Elna is a platform which gives you the complete freedom of creating an AI agent. So AI agent is like an average human being, which could execute tasks, or which could automate your daily work, and this could like a digital employee you're hiring. This consists of the large language model, the knowledge database, as well as the tools. So we have this no code playground. It's kind of a like environment where people could drag and drop multiple tools and the LLMs. There are multiple options of LLMs will be available, and they could create an application, a digital agent to cater their specific needs. Suppose I am very weak in maths, or I would like to have a tutor on quantum computing. I could create a private tutor to teach me on specific subjects. And this can also be like a application which maybe for industries. I'm having a customer support and I need to manage these customer calls and queries. I could use this agent to train on the previous data, and this data can be used to automate the customer calls and customer support management. For example, one of our first client is Sonic Dex. We have used their previous data on how the tickets can be handled, and we used to create an agent to support this ticket. So this is like a support agent. So this support agent automatically read the user queries and generate the replies. Likewise, this create a complete end-to-end application. The user does not need to write the code, and we will do the deployment, the infrastructure scaling, the support, and the users of multiple tools. Getting this AI to the blockchain is one of the critical part. So there are multiple things which need to be managed. You cannot directly run Python programs or any other languages on blockchain. You need to have it on WebAssembly, or you need to have separate contracts. So our platform will be providing all this infrastructure and deployment support, and the user could deploy it within minutes or within a few seconds. the agent will be live.
In the comments of the last video, people asked whether or not Elna was leveraging other existing LLMs or if you guys have your own LLM built on chain.
So Elna is actually a platform where developers could list their LLMs, they could list their data. So we are not creating any specific LLMs or specific data set or specific tools. Obviously, we will be providing the initial support to generate this thing, multiple tools, as well as we will be trying to, maybe in the future, as an example, we'll be trying to have an LLM. But our primary goal is to provide the infrastructure so that the developers as well as creators could come together to build their products. So our
No.
vision would be provide facilitating the users to create LLMs. So we won't be creating LLMs from our side. Currently, we actually support LLMs which are on chain as well as off chain. The main reason is that there are lack of GPU as well as instruction limits are there. So running a large language model on chain is difficult. So we actually support connecting multiple LLMs which are outside the chain, like ChatGPT or any other LLMs can be used. The data stays in the chain. The vector database, knowledge base, everything stays within the chain, and the tools also works along the chain.
Okay, and to the people that will be upset that it's not fully on chain, like what can you tell to them?
For them, it's in the growing stage. There are some limitations are there, the number of instructions and GPU. So we are in this particular in the positive direction. We are in a hybrid model where some of the things are off chain, some of the things are on chain, and we are from each day, like each month, we are trying to bring more and more things on chain. So currently we have the vector DB and multiple components on chain and the infrastructure to accommodate on chain LLMs. As you can see, one of the developer ICP, he's actually creating a inference engine which is working on chain. So it's a smaller model, but it's very really good capable model, and which will be able to scale up in the future when there are GPU canisters available. So once it's available, Elna will be ready to accommodate these large language models completely on chain.
So we
Yeah,
can
and
actually say that this is the bridging period, because right now most of the things are outside and we cannot quickly bring everything on chain. So consider this is a bridging period right now. We are slowly transitioning ourselves, or the entire ecosystem of generative AI on decentralized environment is in a transition period. So slowly we would reach there, but we have to start somewhere, and we've just started that.
of course, I agree. And I think that the critical stuff, that's the downsides on, Web 2 LLMs, like the information and the data, is on chain. So like already the benefits, like you guys are starting with the most important things, and down the line, the whole LLM could be on chain. Let's talk about the token structure of Elna, because I remember talking to you and you mentioning that there is two tokens. So talk about the two tokens of Elna, and you recently, a few months ago, you did an LBP round on Sonic where it's like a pre-sale for one of the tokens. So tell us please about the tokens involved in Elna.
So we have the primary token, that is Elna, and it will be used for the governance as well as the creation of the secondary token. The secondary token is called Elixir, and you need to burn Elna to create Elixir. So eventually, Elna will be burned to create Elixir, and the supply will be reduced. That's how the economics is being designed. And for whatever applications inside on DApp, economics completely works with Elixir. For example, if you want to create an agent, or if you want to pay for the developers, if you want to pay for the platform and everything, we are using Elixir. So Elixir is being like burned to create agents, or it is being burned whenever a user chat with the agent, or whenever an agent execute any particular task. Elixir is being burned. So Elixir eats the utility token. It is used in the Elna platform.
Can you give us an example of the costs of running one of those agents? For example, you mentioned the Sonic agent. Like, for example, what cost would a Sonic reply agent have compared to a human, for example? I expect it's going to be way more effective than a human.
Yeah. So one thing is the faster it will be. Suppose a ticket need to be closed by a normal human being may take about like 15 minutes or 10 minutes. We could give the replies within seconds, and we could save the time. That's one thing. And maybe in 1 hour we had somebody for $10 or $20. That's cheapest. You're hiring a support manager for $20, uh, and he's handling maybe 4 tickets or 5 tickets in an hour. maybe let's take it 10 tickets in an hour. So for $20, you are handling 10 tickets. And in the same scenario, Elna could handle like hundreds of tickets within 1 hour. And the cost could be like maybe $5 or $3 according. It depends on
Wow.
the number of tickets.
A lot of workers will not like you guys. So that is incredible. That is
We
incredible. Like, I actually remember reading something about AIs. People in the future will prefer having like AI, talking to AIs, even like AI salesmen, for example, because they know exactly what to say, and they are like, they don't get angry. You can ask them a lot of questions. They will, they will respond, and with the same tone. Do you think in the future AIs will replace all, for example, even the call center jobs? Do you think that that is a future?
I think it won't be replacing. It's something which is replacing the user interface. So it is changing, revolutionizing the way the human machine interface works. How the humans could directly communicate to the knowledge as well as the computer. So that is what changing. So whenever we talk about the customer support, or let it be tutors, or let it be lawyers or doctors, the way Elna or any other agents will be working as a support agent, it will be supporting them to increase their capabilities. That's one thing. Yeah.
Just adding to that, the only thing we would need to keep in mind is there are, when you look at it, the first look, it would seem like there are loss of jobs. But the actual scenario is you're getting empowered to have your own streams of income where you can come on a platform like Elna, for example, it could be any platform. If you take Elna, you can come on and create an agent with just language. It's a no-code platform. So all you need to do is have enough, thinking power to, okay, this is the kind of agent I want to create so that it can be applied in this economy. And let's say I have expertise, like multiple years of expertise in customer support. There's quite a bit of knowledge base I can build to create my own agent where I can save time and maybe put myself in some other business. And this agent can represent me and go on and become the actual customer support agent. So that's actually saving me time and creating passive income for me instead of actually getting, costing my job. So this is just one way to look at it. It really depends on how you look at it and how you can leverage this technology.
So we did have a conversation with one of the largest call centers working out of this place. So what they were just asking us is there are situations where agents, actual live human agents, actually wait for like 40 minutes to entirely complete the process. So they were just checking with us, can this specific thing, right, the waiting part, can an automated agent, like an autonomous agent which we are trying to build, something like that can handle it, and the human actually can support the direct conversation which is happening quickly, and the waiting period can be handled by an AI agent which we are trying to build. So we're just trying to figure out the how that entire process work, and we are trying to help them to get onboarded to Elna and to run this entire thing. So in short, like what your question is, are people going to lose the job? So what we are trying to say is it's more of a support thing. Let's say a real person would be having a conversation, and then the support agent, the waiting period and other things could be handled by the support agent.
I agree 100%, and I was not saying it as a like, listen, this is going to be the future. Like, if you guys wouldn't be doing Elna, like somebody else would have. For example, even this morning, my father called the electricity company, like in the city. He had to wait about 15 minutes, first of all, to get on the call with somebody. The lady on the call, like, she was like getting angry when my father was asking her something. No, I want you to fix my problem. And I think like with an AI agent, he wouldn't get angry. He would respond a lot quicker, because you don't only have like 100 people who are able to take maybe 1,000 calls. Maybe now you can get 10,000 calls at the same time and fix like issues a lot faster. I think that we are moving into an era where customer satisfaction will be at an all-time high, thanks to the tools that you guys and other companies similar to Elna are producing. And I think that is a step forward, because our patience as consumers is getting lower and lower. I remember when I was younger, you would order something online, it would arrive like in 3 weeks, you were happy, right? Now you order it, if it doesn't come in the same day, you call them, what's happening? Why is the package lost? So our patience is getting lower and lower. As far as I understand, Elna is going to be like a marketplace for agents and LLMs built by people. What are the future plans that you guys have? What is the thing that the people can look forward to, like in the near future?
So there will be two monetization models. Suppose you're creating a support agent for your website. then the you will be paying for the same. The user won't be paying. And the other thing is like, if I am creating a support agent, for example, a fitness agent, I have a 10 to 20 years experience in fitness. I am writing down all my expertise and knowledge. So theoretically, I will be able to consult maybe two or three people or maybe 10 in a day. What I can do through Elna is like I write down all my expertise, my knowledge, and I create a knowledge database in Elna. And with the knowledge database, I could create an agent which could support maybe like thousands of people in a day. So that's one thing which you can do.
Yeah.
So I could charge them for this. So that is one thing, monetizing your knowledge. So the way the knowledge can be scaled and democratized. So that is where the LLMs and AI agents are coming into picture. This would be acting as a catalyst to exponentially scale your knowledge or monetize your knowledge or capabilities. So that is one thing Elna is coming like planning for the future. So we will be accommodating multiple tools, multiple integrations, and finally we are going to somewhere like an artificial general intelligence with your knowledge. From internet, we have the democratized access to knowledge. But still, when you need to get particular insight, you need to understand this knowledge database. Suppose to be a doctor, I have to study for like 5 to 6 years. Then only I have this knowledge capability to understand multiple terminologies and how it is being used and to give information on that. And also to be a lawyer, I at least have to study for like 3 years. So these particular knowledge data sets can be created into an intelligent autonomous systems, which could actually give you more insights and more valuable information. If I have this data, I could make use of this data. So we bridge the gap between making use of this data to valuable insights and applications. So we bring the utility of the data.
I'm thinking right now how hard it would be to compete with somebody using an agent and leveraging an agent versus like me myself, right? So if I were a fitness trainer, I would only be able to have like a few clients a day that I can actually, get in touch and stay in touch and make sure they're motivated and doing whatever they are supposed to do. And on the other hand, the other guy, who put his information into an agent, he can serve hundreds of people. So if we don't leverage this kind of tech, we'll be left behind, which is a problem. I think it's a problem. Like everybody will have to use agents if they want to stay relevant. Like, is there a world where people will not be using these agents?
We want to make this transparent. Suppose you have this data of all this fitness information, and whenever somebody is using this data to create an agent, a fitness agent, you will be paid. So that kind of a transparency is what we are trying to build. Now, like many of the creators, as well as the people who have let it be an art, let it be a written document, all this information is being used by multiple AIs for free. So all the publicly available informations are being used by LLMs, as well as multiple data sets are being used without giving proper royalty to the creators. So we want to make this transparent where the creator is also benefiting from the usage of this particular information. So that kind of a transparency we are bringing through blockchain and AI on transparent chains. So suppose somebody is creating with your data, you will be getting the royalty for the same. So whenever it is being used, so that is how we can move forward in a more collaborative, community-driven ecosystem. So that's what we are planning to have: a community-driven development as well as making it transparent and open.
Which is good because everybody who takes part is going to get their fair share, which is fair. But I have a question, and my father actually asked me this morning. I told him about Chat GPT and AIs that you can talk to it, and he actually like the chatbot actually seems like he understands what you're saying, and you can have him do all those tasks for you. And I'm wondering, in your opinion, what is the impact that this is going to have, like LLMs and the availability of LLMs are going to have on the minds of children, right? Because when I was younger, you would go to school, you would have an assignment like to write a story about something or to comment something, and now you can just go to ChatGPT and tell him, hey ChatGPT, I have this assignment from school, and it makes it for you. Like, what do you think is going to be the impact on children?
When we were kids, I would always say that we just transitioned into a digital native. But when today's system, kids are born as digital natives. They know what it is. So now going forward, if you really look at that, today we are actually transitioning ourselves. So we are just setting up saying that, AI agents is going to help us. But tomorrow's kids, it is more like they are digital natives to these AI agents. So they are born with, now today kids uses mobile phones just like that. Maybe we took a lot of time for understanding that. So in this case, it would be the reverse way. Kids who are born, they'll definitely have a support agents. Today, kids are playing with robots, smaller ones, Miko and other things. So similarly, they'll have a support agent or things like that to support them. So that's how we look at it.
With technology improving and advancing, like we cannot expect, and I hear like parents telling their kids, when I was your age, we used to go outside and play with the ball outside, like football and whatever. And kids nowadays, they don't go outside, but that time is over. Like now they go in Fortnite and they play Fortnite with their friends, or they play League of Legends with their friends. It's the same thing. It's only, listen, the technology is different. Like you don't really go outside, and I think we have to adapt to that. I don't think we have to force kids, to go outside and to write those, because personally I hated to write all those things like at literature, and I didn't like it. And if kids can leverage the new technology and it will not affect their brain, in like development, I think it's good for them.
So that's the main point I think we would like to emphasize on as well, which is this is not like a lobbying for AI. To be very honest and transparent, we are trying to have an open conversation, and let's talk about it, right? AI can't take over the world. It will take over the world at some point. But the way AI is going, it is possibly going to create abundance rather than a scarcity, right? The way AGI can function, we cannot even, we're talking about catching up right now. After a point, we cannot even think about catching up because our brains are not going to be able to compute what they can compute. So, for example, if we're talking about education specifically, what you mentioned makes complete sense, right? It's going to be about extreme personalization for the child, which doesn't happen in the conventional system of education. It's about sit in the 10 chairs that you have in the room. Everybody goes through the same syllabus, the same subject. Nobody's asking personalized questions. So, and AI can actually make time-based, contextualized, education systems for each child, where you can take an off time. The AI will probably prompt the child to, get the F out. You need to go play some football right now. So that's something you can actually get the AI to do. Again, not to, we truly are not sitting here to evangelize AI. We are trying to actually work with the people to figure out how we can actually improve our lives. And agents truly can help improve our lives.
I agree. And I think once AI has gone out of the box, there is no stopping it. Like, how close are we to the artificial general intelligence? How close are we to that?
AlphaGo has picked up quite fast. I think we all aware that one little game showed us what the little potential of what AGI could look like. But yeah, I'll leave it to Arif if you want to.
Yeah, I think it is exponential. The time we expecting is getting short exponentially.
Mhm.
So ChatGPT is set to have the basic versions of AGI by 2024, or like those
By
are like
2024,
this year.
like
So
this year.
25, they that's like speculations and all. So we are not pretty sure on how things
See,
can
It is
happen.
incredible.
right now
So,
they
so
have only released GPTs. Now
mhm.
the next level would be these GPTs would be communicating with each other. So what we always envision is that, I've created an executive assistant for me. Now what I do is early morning I'm just checking. Hey, can you just help me reset my calendar for today afternoon's meeting with Alex? So what this does is my executive assistant bot would be talking with my Google Calendar bot to check how my calendar is all about, and then it would access my email, send across an email to Alex checking that, Alex, at 12 p.m I have another appointment, can we just reschedule at 2? Now you respond back, wherein which my Google bot would say that, Alex has responded saying a yes, and he has told me that we can shift it to 3 p.m. Automatically it picks it, it reschedules it on my calendar, and then sends me saying that, the calendar is all set, now you have a meeting with Alex at 3 p.m. So that's the
Incredible.
kind of thing what we're going to see in another, in another, 12 to 18 months time. That would be something which we would all be looking at.
You guys all know the graph, like with the industrial revolution. So it was like not moving at all, not moving at all. And then like the steam engine, and so on. And do you think that this revolution, the AI revolution, is going to be like similar to the industrial revolution, whereas we go like crazy on the graph when we look back at it?
Crazy, crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not
So
a
is
good. Yeah, go
is it
ahead.
gonna be like bigger or like
Bigger.
It would be, the cycles are getting smaller, Alex. If you really look at the last change, it started from 1900s. Then it took around 30 to 40 years for the first cycle to get completed, and then that cycle reduced for another 30 years. And in 80s, the entire computer revolution, it went for like 20 years, right, till 2000. And from 2000 to 2010, it again reduced to 10. So the entire cycle is getting reduced each time. So maybe, as I said earlier, now if you really look at how ChatGPT has entirely changed, this, revolutionized this industry, it's hardly like 18 months from the first three GPT 3 to GPT 4, right? It's only 18 months. So this cycle is getting much more smaller. So definitely, when the cycles are getting smaller, your the entire X curve is going steeper and steeper for sure.
so we are going to grow exponentially, so like we're going to be this super intelligent species like us humans and actually go to other planets and like colonize like the space? Is that a possibility with AI?
I mean, every AI person would be talking about a singularity at some point in time, for sure.
That so, and what do you mean by singularity?
So it's more like AI would definitely be much far in a position than a human. But that's when human intelligence and the AI intelligence hit at one point. So that would be
Okay.
an easier way of explaining that. Yeah.
And are we annoying as humans to an AI, or do you think it's gonna be positive to us?
I mean, we as humans has always competed with. In our earlier period, animals were much more powerful than us. We still fought against it. We have always evolved throughout our entire whatever billion of years we have been on this earth. Right? We have evolved a lot. So what I believe is that we would still be evolving. We might be fighting with an AI agent I'm not sure like to call what. I'm not sure.
Because listen, it really blows my mind. The world, like if we look at it, like we started with stones and sticks, right? And now we're having a podcast online and we're talking about AI. And it kind of blows my mind, like how this happens. Like we went from stones to planes and rockets and going to space and AI, which is incredible. It sounds, honestly, it sounds like a video game where you start from nothing and you get to that. It's incredible.
So the first thing was like democratization of knowledge. So first we had the printing press. From the printing press, you are able to distribute your knowledge. You can store and distribute your knowledge. So that was the first revolution that actually dramatically changed the human evolution. So people were able to like have their years of knowledge written on a book, and they could like print it in thousands or lakhs, and they could share it with everyone. So that was the first revolution. From there, we have internet. So internet, you don't need to buy the book; it's available in within seconds. Otherwise, you need to ship the book to somebody, maybe in a different continent. It may take maybe months or years. So here with internet, you have all the knowledge and everything in the fingertips. Now we have the mobile computing and everything. Everything is available on your fingertips.
Mhm.
But from the AI revolution, we are getting in a next paradigm where we could make use of this knowledge, make the use of this all the knowledge, maybe all the human knowledge can be used by LLM. With I could scout on all the information which is available on Earth right now with the help of a powerful large language model. So the
Mhm.
large language model could find the similarities, find the answers to many questions which we have even thought of. So there were
Okay.
some scenarios where like LLMs were able to find medicines, like the possible solutions to many of our medical problems. So likewise, there will be many more possibilities opening up.
So basically, the LLMs, like the job of the LLM is they take all the information and they can scan through it a lot faster and more efficient than, all the humans in the world.
It is more like understanding the relationship. So large language models are trying to understand relationship between multiple words. So the number of knowledge you said, it will be stored in the form of weights. There's a word and there's a weightage for the same. So this finds the relationship between multiple words and the way it should, the context need to be understood. This is not storing for example, I am inputting hundreds of books. It is not storing these hundreds of books as such. It is trying to derive the relationship between multiple words and context in that particular books. So this is storing the meaning and knowledge. Maybe you could say the insight.
I want to ask you, it's a little bit off topic, but I saw that last week, Elon Musk with the Neuralink, they did the first chip transplant to a human's brain. What does that mean? And how do you think it is going to affect, humans in the future?
Going for like a cyberpunk fantasy or cyborgs, we
Yeah.
could like attach maybe a smart agent to directly to our brain, which could talk to us and which could directly guide us in our process. So we may going for a superhuman cyborg ecosystem where people could make use of like rather holding your mobile phones. You don't need to hold anything. It's already in your brain, so you're already connecting to multiple people or multiple nodes of servers, which already happens normally. So,
That
And one
is,
of the
yeah.
reasons why Elon has come up with the chip is, of course, we don't need to get into too much into it, but the dystopia that he does speak of. So if humans don't really have much control over where AGI is heading, Neuralink, connecting ourselves with the AGI in as many ways as possible would be the route to keeping ourselves in the equation, is what his idea is. So it makes sense. I mean, we don't know what's going to work. So might as well try everything.
No, honestly, like it sounds incredible. Like to have an AI in your brain, it's unfathomable. Like I think like 5 years, 10 years ago, like you wouldn't even be able to think about this. And you, for example, you go on a date, you have the chip in your mind, like you have all the best replies, everything. It's gonna be incredible. And I think you will not be able to compete with somebody that has a Neuralink chip in their brain. So I think in the future there's gonna be like droids, coming and injecting us chips. Like those of us who are not chipped, we will be injected the chips in our brains. Crazy. Listen, I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to see. And I remember the last time we talked about AI, I was as hyped as I am now. I'm happy to see that people are noticing you guys in the internet computer community. You all have been doing a lot of spaces, and a lot of people, as far as I've seen, love Elna. So I think like the next natural step would be for you guys to decentralize the whole thing. So are you guys planning to do an SNS?
yeah, definitely. From the starting of the project, our core aim is to make it completely open and transparent. So currently we have the beta and the testing and validation. Our next step is to go SNS and make it completely open ecosystem where all the people could be part of the governance and be part of the Elna ecosystem. So we are planning for SNS very soon. So we will be going for the SNS. This is the first platform we are officially announcing this. So we will be most probably in the coming weeks we will be going for an SNS board proposal, and we hope the community will respond it positively. And
I'm
yeah.
sure they will. I'm sure they will, because like the main narrative in this crypto bull run and in the future is going to be AI, and you guys have proven that you guys know what you're doing, and I think people love you. But I wanna ask you guys something. So we've seen a lot of discussion in the community with projects, and there's some SNS projects that don't have liquidity. So I think announcing from the beginning that some portion of the funds raised will be used as liquidity, and not even only like for people say, you want to sell the token, not even for that. Like there's people who want to buy the token who were not able to buy during the SNS, and they want to buy it now and they cannot because there is no liquidity. So I think you guys are doing a great job with what you're doing, and keeping close communication with the community is the way to go. And yeah, you guys know better than I do, what the community wants, and I will support you guys with your SNS. It's already the second interview, and yeah, you guys want to be here, want to talk about Elna, and the things that you're telling me, like you're hyping me up every time we speak, and I love that.
As Alex mentioned, like we will be creating a very sufficient amount of liquidity in all the dexes. That's one thing which we are promising. So the other thing is like, we'll be going for coin market cap and CoinGecko and all the listing. We'll try our best to protect our investors and also make the platform transparent and open. So these are the two important things we will be definitely holding together.
I love that, and maybe some centralized exchange listings, because we haven't seen any SNS project get listed on any checks. I like it. I love it. Maybe you guys will release the tokenomics. I will not ask you guys here. I will not press you on the tokenomics. I'm looking forward to see them. Is there something that you wanted to add that we didn't cover in this podcast?
We pretty much cleared almost all the topics.
No,
We
if you have something that you want to add, now is the time. If you have maybe a message to the ICP community or anything, the stage is yours.
we want to create an open decentralized ecosystem for AI agents in blockchain. We want to make this completely open and community driven. The small request from our side is like we want everybody to join our community on our mission. You could join through Discord, you can join Twitter, you can be part of the Elna through, or maybe when we go to SNS, you can be part of the Elna and be part of the governance. So we want everything to be like when you have an if you have any queries or if you have any suggestion, you can directly reach out to us. So let it be that products or let it be any feature development, whatever products, we are completely open to narration. And we are also welcoming developers. So if you have any particular development or integration to any tools, data sets or anything, we are creating this developer ecosystem and platform, and we want suggestions from developers on what are your expectations, what are the feature requirements you are planning to. So let's make it a community driven development.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you learned more about AI, LLMs, and listen, maybe even the future of the humanity. I'm super excited about the possibilities that AI brings, and I will be looking for ways to integrate AI into my day-to-day life. I hope you will too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.